Summary of the author to her book by Anne Bradstreet. About the author. Anne Bradstreet was born in 1612 in Northamptonshire. Post-marriage at 16, she and her entire family moved to Ipswich, Massachusetts, where she raised 8 children with her husband. She pioneered English verse in the American colonies, and many of her works were later published in England. Her poetry later invited critical appraisal for being deeply emotional, and poet John Berryman also dedicated his piece Homage to Mistress Bradstreet to her. Summary. The poem the author to her book opens with an imagery of a child being born, which portrays the infant nature of authorship. The author perceives her work as juvenile and extremely imperfect, though exclusively her own. The first part of the poem presents the author's work to the readers as what she perceives it. It calls her work an infant and faulty piece in need of revision to remove its defects and ease its reception in the world outside. The second part of the poem brings the revised side of the author's creation. She says she will mold her writing and provide it with new clothes to make her anew and better. However, her poverty in both creativity and finance, as mentioned in the poem, is an obstacle to this reinvention, and she thus agrees to let her work out to get rid of this poverty, which contradicts her earlier statements. The poem speaks of an ill-formed offspring created by the weak brain of the poet that stuck to her side before her friends, in real, her brother-in-law, snatched it from her to present it to the outer world. The book was in rags and acutely imperfect, as she realizes on the rejection of the book by a publisher, and a lot of flaws now mentioned publicly, coming back to the author. She further says she is really unequipped to correct her own creation, and shall try her best to mold the book again into a perfect version of itself by dressing it in new clothes like a mother molds her child. She warns her work to go into critics' hands and be subject to harsh criticism. She declares the book to be her independent creation, and thus one with no father and a mother, and renders herself poor and unable to provide for a reinvented version of the book. She finally lets her work out for the world to see to gain profit from her creation, hereby acting against her own beliefs.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.